All right, so the elections are coming up for us. Ontario provincial elections. Fun stuff.
It's important.
We thought we'd look into it deeper for you all and for ourselves to be more informed.
Stay slept, boys.
Stay slept?
Stay slept.
Okay, so we'll try to go through, like, mainly we'll cover the platforms just to know you're comfortable there?
Yeah.
What stances they take.
Legs are probably cut off.
Also, how media and the people view these leaders, among other things, reputation, how they advertise, etc. Like, if they don't really go into research, like normal voter will just consume from what they see on the news and what they see on
you mean
advertising.
Like the attack ads and all that?
Sure, yeah,
Those
just
are interesting.
really, what's it called, ground level or like shallow water stuff. I only saw a YouTube ad, like for the most part. I saw like dozens of times the same YouTube ad series from this Facebook or like a group called Ontario Proud. They pay for advertising against the Liberal Party. I saw a lot of their videos.
I mean,
their attack ads weren't like super violent, but if you look at their Facebook page, it's kind of scary.
What's her name? Kathleen?
Yeah, Kathleen.
It was Kathleen's greatest hits.
That's the one. That was the one I'm talking about.
That's
Canadian Ontario Proud.
That's the one I see on YouTube.
Right. Yeah, that was really
They
interesting.
put serious money in that.
It's as if
it ran for like a month.
It looked semi legit for, like at first glance. I was like confused as like who's this Kathleen woman like.
Yeah, I've only really seen attack against Liberals against PC against Liberals, and I suppose that sort of helped NDP in a way, where like the only public ads many people are seeing don't involve them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think NDP ran ads on the subway stops. I saw some of the posters, and I also saw an Instagram ad. NDP was pretty attacking both Liberal and PC party in really subtle ways. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was looking up on their different campaign websites, and Doug Ford. Did you guys look at the websites?
I looked at the
Doug Ford. The Doug Ford.
Doug Ford website is just all attack ads. It's like
right, and the designer is I don't know what to say because
they messed up their images. Right?
There's literally one image. I think it was under. Man, I forgot what category it was, but white text and a white background, fam. Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
I really wanted to be partial and try to be fair and flexible about voting for anybody, but after our little research session, no, I wouldn't touch the PC party at all.
Yeah, man, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Also, whenever I would look up, there would just be comparison charts of different topics. Yeah. There were so many categories that PC just never covered. And I would see it on multiple news organizations where they just didn't cover the topics that the other parties were covering.
And a lot of things they, like for example, for the PC guys, a lot of the things they say on their platform, a lot of promises they're making, like for example, the healthcare stuff, talking about adding 15,000 new long-term care beds over the next 5 years, or like spending 1.9 billion over the next decade on mental health and support. Like they don't go into how they would go about doing such a thing.
And yeah, you're right on that topic. PC Party, they don't really base their budget statements on anything.
These are huge numbers, I feel like.
But it's also one of those things where you have to, when you're campaigning, I'm not an expert, but when you have to walk the line between information and getting the attention of people.
Yeah.
So when you start talking about getting 100,000 long-term care beds, you're probably going to want to mention the number of beds you're going to get, and not we're going to take 3 loans from 3 different sources, spend $100 million over the next 5 years, turn it into subsidiaries, and then slowly retain this many long-term care beds. Like, no one's going to care at that point. But if you just start saying, hey, we're going to get you 100,000 long-term care beds, a lot of people will just
hook you up with
be
some
okay
beds.
with that. I think.
Well, isn't that the sad thing, though? That people are easily fooled by just those.
But did the Liberal Party and the NDP,
I
did they tell what
Liberal
the
and NDP did, for some of their stuff, that I've read, they are able to, like,
Tell you where the money is coming from.
most of them will explain where their money is.
At least explain something. Say something of how. You know?
PC Party is
Don't gotta tell the full
literally
thing.
And
just
that's super dangerous. Yeah, I was like, we get a lot of our research, like policy stuff, from Maclean's Canadian magazine, pretty reputable.
Shout out
But
McLean's.
a lot of what we learn from PC Party is based on tweets from Doug Ford. That's dangerous. We could talk about the questionable policies Doug Ford is.
Oh.
It just seems like we're attacking Doug Ford. Like, he's just an interesting guy.
It's
and an interesting
yeah.
way to go at it.
Man, okay, well, there's this thing on education. He wants to scrap the current sex education curriculum. And
I don't think
replace it
there's
with-
really anything wrong with what we have right now.
I agree completely. In fact, I would say maybe, I don't know, like specific topics, maybe about like each other's genitals or something, should be taught even earlier. Just so it's normalized, you know, because you see the effects of limited sex education in like India and even like Sri Lanka. Like you see the effects, the negative effects that those things cause when you limit that type of talk.
I mean, we can get into the minimum wage thing because it affects us. We're still making minimum wage.
Minimum wage.
The thing about Kathleen Wynne's thing, the good thing about being on the side of the Liberal, or being a part of the Liberal Party, because they're already running the province. They're doing everything based on government budgets. And Kathleen Wynne is like surprisingly quick at pushing things, like the minimum wage thing. That happened in like a year or so.
it was like a Hail Mary of a move to get people on our side. The NDP is like sort of piggybacking off that, and they're saying $15 afterwards. Index that for inflation, so grow it with inflation. Because the issue with Kathleen Wynne's thing was the bump up is kind of an issue.
Yeah, like you got laid off,
Yeah,
technically.
I got laid off.
Transportation-wise, from what we've seen now, Liberal Party is throwing. The thing about like Liberal Party policy, they're spending a lot of money, maybe too much money, what they're pushing, but they are trying to throw money at things to solve problems, which is pretty much the only thing you can do as a government. And transportation-wise, they want to put. They want to plan to put in like 80 million aside for transportation for the next
Talking
foreseeable
about PC?
future. This is 80 million is the Liberal Party. Did I mix it up? No. Really?
I think so, yo.
Yeah, I want to look at the website.
Oh, look, they're cleaning the garbage outside.
Here.
No, they probably emptied it.
It's me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my mistake. Like
I
that.
was surprised. Wow, they're actually spending that much money for public transport?
That's interesting.
As conservatives?
It was more progressive than progressive conservatives. You know, because like.
Because
Why do they have
conservatives,
them
if
in
you
it?
really look into it, they're still pretty much, even though they're called, like you
Why do
said,
they call themselves progressive conservatives? I don't understand.
change your branding.
Change your branding,
To
but you're
separate
literally saying the
themselves
same
from-
shit.
Yeah, you're still going to vote for...
You practically have the same mentality as
It's
conservatives.
very same. Yeah, the sex education.
Sex
thing.
education, especially, like they're yes. Talking about sex education, let me just go back real quick.
Sure.
They talked about how they wanted to be taught at an appropriate age, which I don't know what the fuck that means.
Well,
what the hell is
well,
an
we're-
appropriate age?
What we're interpreting from that is that they want to start older,
Older, yeah,
which
yeah,
is not good.
which is stupid.
Mhm.
Dude, we're a bunch of horny kids. I was horny since the age of like what? Elementary school. Like,
Yeah, for
yo,
me, it's
grade
like 9,
1?
10.
Oh,
Grade 1?
yeah.
So there was a mix-up. It is the Liberal Party that is planning to throw in $79 billion into public transport funding for the foreseeable future.
79 million?
$79 billion. I checked.
Do
But
they
it's
have,
like
a projection.
everything in. I think it's a 10-year plan. A lot of them are 10-year plans.
10 years, 79 million.
It's still quite high.
That's insane.
The main. I mean, I think it's worth the money to spend on the public.
No, but I'm just saying.
That's a
where the
crazy
hell
high
are you
number.
getting
That's
that
what
from?
I'm saying. These
Yeah.
big ass numbers. I'm not the only
I
one
mean,
thinking this
tax
is crazy,
dollars,
right?
banks, funding, and other funds.
And they also said the rest will go into integrating municipal services to allow for a broader regional infrastructure.
That's
So everything's
just the
going to
way-
get even more further away.
Oh yeah, but I think
Does that mean more time, more bus time, more travel time?
Not
No,
necessarily, but I
Just more
think
buses.
More buses, as if we need more buses.
yeah, we do.
Do we? I mean, it's fucking crowded, man.
That's why we
I don't
need
know.
more buses.
We also more busways, like specific streets
That'd be
lanes
nice.
just for buses. So public transport will go the same speed, if not faster than cars. They're all pretty vague about transportation, and it does sound like the Liberal Party is being a little too gung ho about
I mean,
throwing money at
NDP was pretty clear about it. They were like, they want to improve GO Transit to farther places.
Yeah,
like-
Kitchener,
like
Waterloo, Niagara.
Kingston too. They
Mhm.
want to get a very long bus, but it's still
Yeah.
it's not that bad.
And their figures are more reasonable, 800
The-
million. That's more reasonable.
Like the thing they mandated was if they get into power, then it's going to be like instantly they're going to invest 330 million into TTC like right away.
What do you guys think of the future? Like,
What?
like who's more likely to win?
I don't want to. I'm really afraid because Doug Ford might actually win.
Fuck.
It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but he's gonna.
Right.
I remember reading that. Oh yeah, he was gonna take away the Green Initiative.
Hmm.
I don't know if that was for the Green Belt, but I think it is taking away Kathleen Wayne's Green Initiative.
What was the green
It's
initiative?
sustainability plan for
Oh.
people to save more energy, electricity, energy saving policies, and funding for like giving you a tax break if you buy more energy efficient
Right.
appliances and stuff.
You know, that's part of the reason why they asked Doug Ford to run.
That's actually a good name.
What?
I'm not kidding.
Because people liked the brother, Rob Ford. Like,
Yeah.
in a sense, he did a lot of good for
Yeah.
Let's get on to the most important, like the biggest issue that these parties are bringing up is the Hydro One situation. How
Hydro One.
Kathleen Wynne has been handling the electricity source for Ontarians not exactly all that well.
she was the one that privatized the entire system, which eventually led to even higher hydro costs. And people aren't happy about it. That's why she's not doing great. That's like one of the huge
That's her
reasons
biggest
why
crush.
people-
That's her Hillary's emails. Yeah.
her
Hil-
Achilles heel.
Achilles heel. Would you?
Her
Hillary's
Hillary's
emails.
emails.
If they didn't bring up the
Ah.
emails thing, she might have way better chance.
I like how we are replacing Achilles' heels with Hillary's emails.
And now she wants to privatize it even more.
Just to save. How does that help save money? That's what she's
It's
saying.
it's like she wants to give up 60% of it to these private companies, which will give her money temporarily to undercut the cost of hydro for a little while. I don't know if I'm right, but that's when I read it off of
That's what we're
what
getting.
you were saying, that's what I kind of got from it.
You think that's shady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's because the whole crux of it is saying she can reduce the bills by 25%, which is probably true if you're paying so that people won't get charged so much. But how long can you keep that up for?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually,
And,
things will be entirely private, and then you have no control over it.
Mm-hmm. And I guess in this way, Doug Ford was right to bring that up. But his solution is not a solution.
He just says cut bills,
Cut bills and fire the boss of Hydro One.
which will cost them
right.
a lot of money,
That's not going to change anything for the better.
and he can't even hire the guy.
Yeah.
Yo.
Oh yeah, he has no jurisdiction over Hydro One CEO because it's now been privatized.
Tony Hawk's still cool.
Yeah.
Eminem's not cool, man.
He was cool.
I mean,
I guess,
on the
yeah, of
topic
course.
of cool things, let's go into drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, the liberals are trying to legalize marijuana specifically.
Goddamn liberals, man, and their fucking hippie work shit.
None of these parties are super against it, but the liberals are like pushing it the hardest.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
trying to organize it. They're trying to make another LCBO, which is how Ontarians like us buy most of our booze.
All I've really seen from the NDP was when they said that they wanted it like they're for the legalization of marijuana, and they want to integrate it into the business sector, so it actually becomes a proper industry that feeds into the economy.
I've also read that they I think it's for them the government to save money, for the people to save money, literally get LCBO to sell.
It
Oh,
wouldn't be bad.
So you
That'd
don't
be
have to
interesting.
establish a whole organization and a whole.
But the crowd.
does that mean LCBO would have?
It was never that bad. I never had a bad line in LCBO.
Do you think LCBO's name would change?
No.
No. Okay.
I guess liquor and marijuana.
LCCBO.
What is the C?
Cannabis.
Oh, right, of course.
I want to pull out an interesting quote that was a Doug Ford quote
Sure.
that was featured on the Maclean's website.
Mhm.
It says on drugs and alcohol, "I don't believe in the government sticking their hands in our lives all the time. I believe in letting the market dictate."
And then he backtracked.
Yeah.
He backtracked. He's like,
That's
maybe
vague.
let's not let everything go free. And they're all tweet based, right? I'm
I
looking
think
at the
so, yeah.
sources. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you think they wanted him to play it like Trump?
No, I think that's.
Do you think it was?
Oh, do you think
deliberate
him
in some
tweeting
way?
is like a?
Like they were like, just get on Twitter and start blasting what you think.
I think that was his idea.
I don't know. It
Little
feels
Trump.
too planned. Like,
Some of it
was
feels
he
a
ever
little
on Twitter
forced.
before?
I don't know. Probably.
Probably.
He wants to audit Kathleen Wynne, just like Trump wants to audit Hillary. It's like you said, it's a little too staged.
We can just talk about who we want to vote for, or who we think we're going to vote for.
Yeah, healthcare wise, it's really not too different. I mean, liberals are being more
I wonder if I'm in the shop.
specific about dollar values or anything. You might not be. No, you're still.
Maybe the head.
NDP's
What
super
is
big
that?
on getting dental coverage and prescription drug coverage for everyone,
Yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah, and
and expensive.
Did they say how?
I think there were also free childcare for low income families.
Alright, who you guys gonna vote for? Or planning, or interested in?
I think the PC party, the Progressive Conservative Party, it's kind of trash. It's kind of trash. Politicians make these big promises, but they never fulfill them. Sort of the same case here. They're making all these big promises, talking big budget, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I remember before, a lot of Doug Ford's policies are based on the People's Guarantee from the past conservative leader.
Oh.
Like we don't even know how the PC party is budgeting. Like where's the money coming from? Like they're the least detailed about that. That's a huge problem. I'm sorry for.
No, that's fine. And I think who I would vote for would probably be NDP. Just because I feel like they're the perfect middle ground. Like if I'm in the middle too. Like in terms of when I look at politics, I wouldn't say I'm a liberal. I think at one point in life I would have called myself a liberal, but just because of the recent political tensions and stuff, I think I'm going to say I'm in the middle right now. More leaning towards liberals, of course. But again, NDP, I feel like it sort of has that mentality of just being in the middle of these two big guys, the liberals and the conservatives. That's pretty much it, really. They're super safe when it comes to everything, like these policies and their platform and whatever.
Yeah.
Super safe. It's a safe bet. Now, I don't think they're going to win though, but that's where my vote's going to go for.
Yeah. The thing, like, I came into this really wanting to be partial and fair about everything, giving everybody a chance coming in. Maybe even I wanted to be convinced to vote for PC Party conservatives, but after this study, they're just not reliable. What they're saying.
Yeah.
I can't. It's really hard to believe you when you don't give me any facts and you're tweeting all the time. I don't need that in my life.
Yep.
Kathleen Wynne's kind of really, like Ross said, really scary with like, if I do it, I'll do it now, just to swing votes, maybe, if that was the intention. But she's at least making these promises happen. And none of these promises are really hurting me, I think, so far. I used to be NDP all the way. I didn't really know their policies, but I thought they stood up for the little guy, low income. But they don't. They're like, at least now, they're very middle ground, middle class. Try to provide everything for everybody. But I think I'm gonna vote for Liberal just to fight
Get an
against-
actual result.
Yeah, because I think even NDP knows that they're not gonna.
Yeah.
They're not gonna. They just want to like swing some people their way so that they could creep up.
You think if enough people vote NDP, they would have a chance?
Yeah, but I don't think.
I don't think anyone would. Right? Again, that's the problem with just people in general. Like everything's categorized so drastically and to the extreme.
It's
that
always this or that.
People don't pay attention to the middle. You know.
And
So
NDP is higher than Liberal in the polls. Much higher.
Projections, or what do you mean?
Projections in the polls, the surveys, the polls.
Oh, sweet.
They're at 34%, or no, 32%. PC's at 34, and Liberals at 20.
What is this right now?
The most recent ones.
damn.
That's good. I mean, yeah,
That's
I think I just need to do more research because I would totally still vote for NDP.
That's exactly why I voted for NDP.
If they had
I'm
it,
voting
yeah.
for NDP.
Because either way,
They had a
if
chance
they're,
like
if they're second place, they have the minority government
See?
seat
Mhm.
Right.
position, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like even just going on like very face level. What's it? Face level, surface level stuff. NDP has like the most informative website. You see all of their policies pretty much on the front page, and they're so honest about everything, especially their budget. Even though they fucked up like 1.4 billion in their calculations, but
They're like, the whole thing was she just said, when a mistake like this happens, you just have to fess up.
Mhm.
And then no one talked about it afterwards, so that cleared it
Yeah.
out.
Isn't
There's-
that nice to see that that type
They're
of
just like, they've just been, completely honest.
yeah.
The only thing people are saying is that some of their projections might be overcompensated and they could be spending a lot more money than they mean to.
But that's kind of how budgeting works.
Yeah. And odds are she's not going to go through with everything. So
Yeah, they're so honest. It's adorable, which makes me go, oh, I gotta be on your side.
Russ?
yeah, I'm probably going to go for NDP. I like
Hey.
I like their I like their policies. I like how everyone they fight for union workers. That's essentially what their party has always backed for years and years. So far, everything I've read seems fair enough. They're honest. They're not skeezy and just trying to win votes over nothing. They're just trying to say this is what we're for. And I haven't seen them start shitting on the other politicians. It's just been light stuff where they've just been like, this is what we want to do, unlike, Ford or Wynne. I don't trust Ford. Kathleen Wynne has tried and done a lot of bad things. And
Like what?
With Hydro. I don't think privatizing Hydro even more is a good idea.
No.
I don't think the minimum wage raising that quickly was done properly.
I don't think either. It was too fast, too quick, too drastic.
And I think it was just done to gain more votes, especially with younger demographics.
Because she kind of did everything really late, and the way she handled the college strike, I also didn't appreciate. Because she kind of just stopped teachers from, she kind of stopped, completely derailed the teacher strike because now there's no point to strike. I don't know what happened. What? I don't know what. Sorry. Oh no.
Well,
I don't know what happened. No, they ended.
Oh, it ended?
I know 2 York.